So I keep on telling that this online class is just not an online class. It is a soul call because it's just an ordinary book. This is a Bhagavad Gita, a journey through a timeless wisdom. We could see the bridge between Arjuna's confusion and clarity. So today, next few days, we'll be completely going through all chapters by chapter. More importantly, step by step, so that we all can get what we're looking for towards the inner peace, happiness, purpose, and the connection to the God. Okay, so let's not take much time. Let's begin the class. Today is a very important topic. So we're heading towards chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme. So I'll do a quick review till last 7 chapters what we had. So pay attention so that it can be a kind of a press through. So chapter 1, we spoke about how Arjuna was confused and he was not willing to fight, right? And then in chapter 2, we spoke about how Arjuna actually surrendered to Krishna, and that's where Krishna started speaking about Atma, right? Soul. And in chapter 3, we spoke about why the soul suffers because of actions. So we spoke about Karma Yoga, doing a prescribed duty. That's what the chapter also. Chapter 3, Karma Yoga. So in chapter 4, we spoke about when we do good actions, when you do good karmas, we have a result. Somebody is doing a punya karma, that's they go to the heavenly planets, Swargaloka. Somebody doing a bad karma, they go to the sinful place, like a hell. And then we spoke something more. What is that? Something who's beyond this karma and vikarma, that is akarma, where you can go back to Godhead, giving the result to Krishna. Then in chapter 5, we spoke about how we should be detached the result. We gave example of a lotus leaf, right? Not affected by the water. And we also see that how Krishna is telling us that we must train our mind, in such a way that the mind can become our friend, so that it's easy for us to succeed in a spiritual life. And we also said if we fail, then we have to suffer. The mind can become enemy, then we have to suffer. In chapter 6, we spoke about how to control mind and focus through meditation. We spoke about Dhyana Yoga, right? Meditation. And we said that among all yogis, Bhakti Yogi, is the best, who meditates on Krishna with love and devotion, is considered the highest. Ultimately, Krishna also declares that he is the highest, greatest devotee, greatest yogi. And then in chapter 7, that was yesterday, Krishna reveals about the deeper knowledge about himself, that he is a supreme personality of Godhead. Discuss about Aroha and Avaroha Pantha. Remember, I spoke about this, what is saying, Pratyaksha Pramana, Anuvana Pramana, and Shabda Pramana. We discussed about that. And we also spoke about different types of people, who can come to Krishna consciousness, who don't want to come to Bhakti, right? And also we could see how Lord Krishna encourages every seeker, who's sincere, to come to devotion. Finally, he is promising that he will remove all the doubts and grant true knowledge, because pure devotion means surrender. That's what we discussed yesterday. And today we are heading towards chapter 8, titled Attaining the Supreme. So we will mainly discuss about 4 parts in this. One is Arjuna's question. Then second is death, final exam. Third is attaining the Supreme. And the last is pure devotion is the best. So it's a very important verses, important divisions of this chapter. So please pay attention, because now we're entering into a devotional part, right? So let's start with the first sloka. It says, Arjuna Vacha, Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma Purushottama, Adbhutam Cha Kim Proktam, Adidaivam Kim Uchute. Madhusudana, who is the Lord of sacrifice? How does he resides in the body? How can devotees know you at the time of death? So why does Arjuna ask these questions, right? So we could see that Arjuna is asking Krishna, who is the Lord of sacrifice? How does he live in body? And then how can a devotee remember him in the time of death? So it's a very amazing chapter, because we could see the question itself is very important. We all know our birth date, happy birthday also we celebrate, but we don't know our expiry date. We don't know when, our, so we don't know the date, right? That's what I want to say. So many people say, I'll do devotion later, but they don't know that death can come any moment, That's why Arjuna asked how to remember Krishna at the time of death, because that's the most critical moment. You all agree, right? So why we must start devotion early? So this topic is like more of kind of penetrating, So please pay attention, See why we should do devotion in the early time, early stage. Why? Because see, in childhood we all like to play, right? And in youth we like to study, and then we grow up, we look for a job, right? And then we want money. Of course, we also want to get married. But in old age, body becomes very weak, and even if mind wants to do bhakti, the body doesn't support. This happens, right? So when body is strong, mind will become very peaceful. So when mind becomes peaceful, body becomes weak. It's completely like, vice versa. So the best time to do bhakti is right now, not later. So this is what I want to tell you. Now the question what I'm going to ask you is, why does Arjuna is ask Krishna about remembering him at the time of death? Why he's asking? So I want you to give me an answer in your understanding. Why does Arjuna ask Krishna about remembering the time of death? Is it because he afraid of ghosts? Because death is easiest time to chant? Because death can come anytime and it's the most critical moment? Or because he wants to write a book about death? Because death can come anytime and it's the most critical moment. Yes, that's correct. Yes. If you look at this sloka, very important sloka, it says death final exam. Antakale chamam eva sparan muktva kalevaram ye prahati tamadbhava yati nasti atra samshaya. It says, and whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at that once attains my nature. Oh, this is no doubt. So Krishna is answering what happens at the death. If anyone remembers Krishna at the time of death, he will go to Krishna's abode. No doubt about it. Krishna himself says he's giving a guarantee. But how can we remember him at the time of death? That's what we want to tell you in this class. That we have to practice. Only by practice regularly, because bhakti is like an exam, and death is like a final exam. So we can't prepare an exam just one day, one night before and expect we pass. That's not the case. See, if you look at in military, the soldiers, that they get trained daily. Why? Because we must practice. Similarly, because anytime the terrorists can come, anytime the enemies can come, so they have to practice, every day. Similarly, even bhakti also should practice every day, like getting up in the morning, chanting the Lord's holy name, hearing, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and trying to serve Krishna every day. It's possible. That's why, one thing we keep on emphasizing that, why we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because it helps us to remember him always. So let us not depend on others after death. Some people say, my son will do my titi, Ashraddha. But what if he forgets? Or what if he doesn't care? So we cannot, because life is uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen. But if you remember Krishna while dying, you will surely go back to home for sure. No, there's no doubt about it, And there's no need to do any rituals also. Because why? Because you're remembering the Supreme Lord. Remember we told yesterday, if you just water the root of the tree, all the branches, all the fruits get nurtured. So when you're able to remember Krishna, no need for any kind of rituals. If not, you have to go to so you've done good work, a lot of karma, good activities. Then you'll go to the hell or, bad activities, heaven or hell. But again, you have to come back. And that's also based on karma. And again, you have to take birth again. So what I want to tell you in this verse, that the final exam, that we should not postpone devotion, right? So don't depend on your children for your liberation. You should practice Krishna consciousness. So you can remember Krishna at death. It's possible. The surest way to go back to God. If you're hungry, you have to eat the food. You cannot tell my child, my son, my sister, if somebody, you take the food. You're hungry, you have to eat the food. What guarantees liberation at the time of death? Is it okay? Yeah, remembering Krishna at the time of death, not performing Shraddha rituals. No. If you remember Krishna, you have an easy chance for that. Yes, that is right answer. Thank you so much for answering this. Now, look at this. How to remember Krishna at the name of death? See, if you regularly practice chanting Hare Krishna daily, then what happens? Your mind gets purified. Remember in the first day or second day, I told you about the 3 Ds, like by chanting the Lord's name, you'll have the determination. Whatever you do with the determination. Then I told you that when you chant the Lord's holy name, then you'll be very disciplined. You'll have a very good lifestyle, right? And then I remember I told you if you chant the Lord's holy name, not only it purifies your mind, but also you can discriminate what is right and what is wrong, right? So by chanting, I said the 3 Ds. What are the 3 Ds? One is determination, discipline, and discriminate. This is very easily possible. And because it's possible, you have more chances that you can remember Krishna always. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And also when we attend such kind of online classes, when we attend the Bhagavad Gita from scriptures, what happens? Our knowledge becomes very sharp, our spiritual intelligence becomes very clear. So we can know what is right, what is wrong, right? Same thing, one thing I keep telling from the last couple of days, that, whatever we eat, it should be a sanctified food, it should be first offered, because that becomes a karma-free food, Remember I told you somebody who cuts animals, non-veg, and in their house you went and they cooked some food for you, and when you eat in the night, you also have the same conscience, Maybe one day I have to go to KFC. Why this thoughts coming? Not because if you want to go to KFC, because somebody gave you a food who was a kind of a person who always eats non-veg. That consciousness is coming in your mind also by eating that food, right? That's why it is very important that when you offer food to Krishna, that becomes prasad. I think I told you this past time, just a couple of days back from airport, I was coming back to the place where I am right now in Hyderabad, So on the way, I saw a lot of beggars coming, asking to give me some money. So I was in the car, so I told them, you chant Hare Krishna, I said. They're not even chanting, no response. Then what I did, I gave some, some prasadam I had with me, some gaja, whatever. I just gave them, they started eating. They were very happy. Then they say Hare Krishna, and they say Hare Krishna. You see, prasadam will make you to digest and make you to chant the Lord's name. Remember I told you about Ratnakar, he was such a person who used to kill animals half the way, and then when Narada Muni came, he delivered him. And same Ratnakar, who was a dacoit, Daku, he became a Valmiki who wrote Ramayana. So there are a lot of chances, that what is impossible can become possible. In case of Srila Prabhupada, as I told you, one man from the great land of India, at the age of 70, he traveled across the globe. In just a short span of 11 years, 14 times he circled the globe, and he constructed 108 temples. Not only that, he made a revolution at the age of 70. What was impossible, he made possible. He made hippies into happies. Have you seen foreign body people wearing dhoti kurta, wearing sari on the streets? They're saying Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Is it possible? It is possible because Prabhupada was a pure devotee. He was always chanting the Lord's holy name. That's why practice. Practice makes man perfect. So we have to chant because we're not in the spontaneous level. We're in a sadhana level. We say practice, we're not very spontaneous. It's a sadhana, Vaidika Bhakti, not Ravanuga Bhakti. So slow and steady in the race. So my only request for you is that we should always be a winner, not a quitter, because quitter will never win and winner will never quit. So I thank all the people who have been connecting and staying on the class for last 7-8 days. That shows that you are a winner. So stay connected and we get answer for all our questions. So my question for all of you is that if we don't remember Krishna, then what happens? Death is going to come for sure, and also we may have such kind of situation where when somebody is leaving the body, then we may have so many thoughts in the mind. Where's my son? Where's my grandson? I had that house property there, So many things comes in the mind. And this is very, very dangerous. Why? Because when you think at that time, the death decides our next life, Her name is, her grace, Nayana Sundari Mataji. Just keep in the mind, okay? I'll just discuss about this, okay? Now on this sloka, it says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, Jajate anti kalevaram, tam evati kaunteya, sudatat bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers, one he quits his body, person of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So here, what I'm trying to say is that even criminals, when they're hanged to death, so they've been given a chance. What is your last wish? Because they know that the last thought carries a great power. That's why it creates the next body. That's why in some of the families, they say, call my son before I die. I want to see him. I want to see my family one last time. But if someone dies thinking of the son or a property, they may take a birth again in the same family. Even people even say, the child is just like the grandfather. Oh, my son is look almost like my grandfather. Remember they say it means that the same soul would have returned due to the attachment. Now, on the slide, you could see one nice picture, of a deer. So I want to give an example of this. This is a story of a Jada Bharat. Actually, Bharat Maharaj was a great king. He was a great devotee of Lord Krishna also. But he gave up everything. To meditate in the forest. So he left his kingdom. He went to forest. Why? Because he wanted to meditate. Because he was a devotee of Krishna. But what happened? He became attached to a baby deer. At the time of death, he was just remembering the thoughts of deer. And next life, he became a deer. Right? So what we learn here is that even a great devotees can fall if they are attached. So even you, me, anybody can fall prey to Maya if we make a mistake of having attachment. That's where, we have to be very careful. So we must not be too much attached to people or things in this material world. That's what I meant to say. Because sometimes we are attached because we'll come back again. So we must train our mind, think of Krishna every day so that at the time of death, we can remember him naturally. Now, all of us, please hear, you are able to hear what I'm speaking, right? So on the screen, I've shown you one photo of one lady. Okay, she's a very great devotee of Lord, and her name is Her Grace Naina Sundari Mataji. Okay. So if you go to YouTube, and just type, just paste this one, just glorious passing of Her Grace Naina Sundari Mataji, part three. If you just put that, you know what happens? When I saw that video, I got goosebumps. Why? Because this lady, she was in ICU. Okay, and she had some health issue and she was in a coma for more than 4-5 hours, and the doctors decided that this lady gonna die now, because there's no possibilities of survival. And all devotees all over the world, they came online and they were doing chanting, and even her spiritual master, he came online, he chanted the name of Krishna, they did kirtan, a lot of things happened for 2-3 hours. But this lady, she's completely numb on the bed because she's in a coma and she is like completely unconscious, And just after 4-5 hours, just before, because she's still alive, not dead, she's in coma. Just before she left the body, just 1 minute before, what happened? A miracle happened. She was sleeping like this. She just opened the eyes, and she's folding her hands like this, and she's doing like this to everybody. And then, she's telling like this, give me chanting back. They gave chanting back. She was chanting like this. And then immediately she left the body. Now you tell me, how is this possible? Somebody is in a deathbed, they're in a coma for a long time. People are doing kirtan, no response. But just before dying, she's just opening her eyes and thanking everyone for their support. And she's chanting the Maha Mantra. And she was looking the photo of Radha Krishna and she left the body. So this gives her a very clear confirmation that whatever Krishna says is truth. It's just not somebody said, is Bhagavad Gita mythology? Absolutely no. It's a itihas. It all happened, So by this, we get a strong confirmation that Krishna is there. God is there, So when I saw that video, I got just goosebumps, So maybe after this class, so I've sent you this one. So you can play this video, Glorious Passing of Nain Sundari Mataji, part 3. There are part 1, part 2, part 3. Just watch the part 3 and you just do a little fast forward. When it comes to 17 minutes, just watch what you see. You will be shocked. You will be like, oh my God, God is there. Krishna is there. When I saw that, I got a goosebump, This is a clear confirmation that no, Krishna is there and he wants to protect us. That's why I have a question for all of you. Why is the final thought at the time of death is so important? Yes, it determines our next birth. Exactly right. No? Somebody says it helps us become famous after death. Absolutely no. It determines our next birth. So I want all of you to become very serious in this class. You know, we don't want people to give all silly kind of answers, because if you give silly answers, this is what you're going to be at the time of your death. You know, So you have to be very serious. Pay attention. God has given you 2 years. Listen them carefully. Just don't take things as a kind of a fantasy. All right. So it determines our next birth. It's very important. We all know that death is uncertain. We cannot, we cannot say no. Death is uncertain, and we cannot postpone even devotion also. Now, please make a note, okay? If you go to YouTube, just type some sudden death videos on YouTube. Sudden death, there are many cases where people are talking in the interview and like they are like dead. People are like walking dead, So death can come any moment. Somebody is giving an interview in the press, she's dead. It's like death is uncertain. Any moment it can come. And if you just go to YouTube and just type, sudden death. Okay, I'll try to just give you the just try to type this on the chat box. You just try doing this sometime. You will really see what I'm trying to say. Okay. Just type sudden death videos on you. Don't do it now. Do it later. Then you'll come to know exactly what I'm trying to convey here. So death is uncertain. Death can come anytime. It can come through heart attack. It can come through an accident. It can be like a natural disaster, sudden illness. So I think you might be knowing there's one actor. He was a very famous actor. His name was Punit Rajkumar. This is in Bangalore. He was like a physical body, had a very good healthy body. Everything was good. Even the day when he went for the gym also, everything was good. Suddenly what happened while doing exercise? He got a heart stroke, dead. So that means, life is uncertain. Anything can happen. So we don't know whether we will live tomorrow or even the next moment. So we should not delay devotion. So that's why we should not say, okay, we'll do it later. No, life is a training, but death is a final test. That's why I keep telling you from the beginning. Bhakti is an exam and death is a final exam. So death is a final exam. Why am I saying? Because if we fail, we will be born again. Just like a student who fails in the 10th grade, again he has to repeat, again he has to appear. Nowadays we have the supplementary kind of cases. But those days, no supplementary. Again, from the beginning, go to school and learn. It will repeat. So example, if you don't pass 10th, you have to write it again. Without that, you cannot go further. That's why, we must practice, practice, practice. Don't expect it when I'm old, when I have a last minute, I will do that. Let's not wait for Christmas, So let's do it right now. That's why we should not postpone devotion. I have a question, genuine question. I'm giving classes for why we should not postpone postpone devotion. If I ask this question, I want to know what is your genuine answer. Okay, so I'm just putting this on the screen. Yeah. Why should we not postpone devotion? What is your answer? Yes, death is uncertain and can come anytime. Okay, it doesn't come at fixed time. It can come at any time. Okay, yeah, that's the right answer. Yes, I'll share the result. Answer B is a right answer. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so that's why it's very important. Now, life is training, death is a choice. So why people generally have this question? Why take spirituality in early age? There are so many things which we cannot be done, which we cannot be done in old age, which can be done in the youth. You all agree, right? As far as taking shelter of the Lord, it comes with when I'm old, I'll do bhakti. So let's listen. Let's now enjoy when we'll take shelter of God. Not now when I become 70 or 80. Not now. So they do not want to chant Krishna's name. They don't want to take part in the satsang program. They only say that when I become old, we'll do that. That's why we are young guys and we have that fire in the belly. Let us do something, a revolution, But if we take up spirituality, we think, oh, we will lose everything. We will lose all our ambitions. So we will not take now. When the appropriate time comes, maybe that time we'll take it. So many arguments can be taken, for not taking spirituality. Therefore, it is very important to understand and appreciate what we're speaking today. I have a question. Why is it important to start spiritual life in early life? If somebody asks you this question, what will you answer? Youth offers energy and opportunity that may not be available later. Yeah, when you're young now, you can climb. You can go to Tirupati temple by hills by walking, But when you're old, you say, I cannot walk. Maybe I'll go by bus, And when you're young, early morning, you can go to temples, You can visit so many places. But when you're old, you have to wait for somebody who can take me and go, right? You always become dependent, right? So the answer is B. Okay, I'll just share the answer. Yeah. B, youth offers energy and opportunities that may not be available later. Yeah, that's the right answer. Okay. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Now, I have another thing to ask you. See, basic question. Please answer this. According to you, whom do you define as a young or whom do you define as a old? See, when I cannot walk any longer, you cannot say I'm very old. Let's say there are so many people, who are like doesn't have a. Hey, can you on the fan, please? If somebody not able to walk, their leg is crippled, you say, 20 years age people, who have no legs. So can we say that they are also young? They're also old. They're just 20 years, but due to some accident, the legs are not working. Can we say that they are old or they are young? Or let's say some people say, when I cannot chew food properly, that means am I old? Or let's say my tooth, it's fall off, that means am I old? Or somebody, very young age, but met accident, and lost all his teeth. Does it mean that he's old? He's young, but lost his teeth because of an accident. So some people say, when I cannot digest food, properly, that means am I old? Or some people say, when I achieve all my desire, then I can say I am old. Till that I'm not old. I'm very young. Now you ask any 80 years old person, ask him, have you achieved all the desires? He will say no. Does it mean that he's young or he's old? So, right? So some people say, if my ears, becomes white, then I'm old, Now you can tell me, see, you can see that I do not want my ears to be white, but they do it black, So what does it mean? Are they young or they old? So some people say, if there are, I can go on like this, but I see so many people, 30 years, 40 years, people they have white ears. Does it mean they are old? So if somebody who is 65, having black ears, can you say still is young or is old? So my question is, according to you, see, I just gave a little bit of question answers here. According to you, who is really young? Who is really young? Someone who can talk and move easily, someone with black hair, someone with a young heart and mind. Fantastic, Haribo. Yeah, that's the right answer. Someone with a young heart and mind. Yeah. What I'm going to speak now can make a big game changer. What is that? See, from a spiritual perspective, there's only one understand between youth and old. See, from a spiritual point of view, I'm telling you, I'm giving you a definition of youth and old. Now, what exactly we mean by death and or young? See, please, if you want, you can just also make a note. To the extent one is close to death, is defined as old. To the extent, one is close to death, he is defined as old. And to the extent one who is far away from death is defined as young. There may be a 80 years old man who may live for next 20 years, and there may be a 15 years old boy, and he's going to die tomorrow. So who is young, right? I have told you that the proximity to death determines youth and old age. Makes sense? Because the death can come at any moment. Example, a person died in a heart attack. So I'll give you an example. You might be knowing this famous ghazal singer, right? His name was Jagdish Singh. Jagdish. Jagdish Singh. He was a very famous ghazal singer, So previously, he used to sing all kind of ghazals. And he had one son, who was driving in the night. And there was an accident and he died. So this Jagdish Singh stopped singing ghazals from that time onwards. He only sings bhajans now. See, because he got the realization that life is uncertain and death can come at any moment. Therefore, we should always appreciate the fact that we do not have a time at any moment. Death can come anytime, right? That's why my message for you is that, and, this is what I want to tell you. Please don't take life very easy, right? Because human life is very, very valuable. Therefore, every moment is precious. That's why now I have a question for you. See, from a spiritual point of view, who is considered truly young? I know I gave an answer in the chat box, but still, you give me your answer. Okay? So, because I want you to understand what we're speaking today. This is a very important chapter we're discussing today. Okay? Okay, yeah. From a spiritual view, who is considered truly young? Someone under 40 years old, someone far from death, and someone with black hair, someone physically strong. So answer is someone far from death. Yes, that is the right answer. We all want to do bhakti, but we have to practice at home, Very simple, I've been telling you, patram pushpam palam toyam, you whatever you offer it, put tulsi and offer to Krishna. And when you have a tulsi plant, I'm sure we all from India, all of us have that privilege to have the tulsi plant, So offer them, arati, do parikrama, This is a very simple, easy practice, but this can make a very big difference, right? Then the last part, what we're going to discuss today is attaining the Supreme. We all know how to attain the Lord. This is about chanting the Mahamantra and worshipping with the love and sincerity. So it is possible. Now the question comes that attaining the Supreme, attaining the God. That's what I mean to say. What is the spiritual world then? Then why should we go there? Then how can we go there? Good question, right? What is this? What is spiritual world? Why should we go there? And how can we go there? Krishna has said this answer in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, "One who remembers me at the time of death, surely he'll come back to me." And there is no doubt about this. So start devotion now. Don't wait when you become old, or don't tell another reason, maybe some other time. No, practice now so that at the time of death, Krishna is naturally remembered. See, when you have preparing for exams every day, from 365 days, when exam time, it will be easy for you. For example, I'm giving my own personal examples. When I was in ninth, no, not ninth, 10th standard, so actually somewhat by the mercy of the Lord, I was very good student. I love one subject, that was mathematics. I love that subject so much that I should never touch that book, but I should teach the whole classroom. Even in my sleep, somebody wake me and ask, "What is this?" I can tell the answer. So I should love that subject. So whenever we have any kind of test exam, I was the first person to complete the exam, and the teacher tells you become a vigilant now. Make sure nobody is copying. So when somebody asks me doubt, I don't give them an answer. I explain them how to get the answer. Right? So what I'm trying to say here is that when you love something, you can automatically you can remember them. When you chant Hare Krishna mantra every day, then what happens? You can remember Krishna, very easily, very naturally. You don't have to do any kind of hard fast, exercises for that. So that's why then it will be easy for us to come out from this material world and go to the spiritual world. Now, I have a very genuine question. What is that? My question is, how can we all can reach spiritual world according to Krishna? How can all of you, me, all can reach spiritual world? So I have a kind of a question for you in the polling. How can one reach the spiritual world? Not Swarga, okay? Because Swarga, if you go, you can come back. I'm talking about the spiritual world. But remembering Krishna in time of death. Yeah, that is the right answer. Yes. Look at this. Don't delay devotion. Be ready now. What's the sloka? It says, Nanya cheta tatatam yo mam smarati nityaha tasyaham sulabha harta nitya yuktasya yogina. For one who always remember me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. O son of Partha, because of this constant engagement in devotion service. So don't delay devotion. What does it mean? Many people say, I will start chanting later. I'll go to temple when I'm free. I will read Bhagavad Gita after some time. But death can come any moment. Death will not say, okay, I'll come after some time. He will not. When he comes, you're gone. I'll give you a recent example. 3 years back, when I've been to my hometown, Bangalore, this next day was my father's birthday. So one day before, yeah, on the father's birthday itself, I went one day before. So my father had another very good neighbor. So I thought, we should invite him for his birthday, my father's birthday because he was crossing 80. So this person, say, I'm not trying to exaggerate. I'm not trying to impress you all. I'm just telling you because I'm wearing this cloth. I tell only the truth. There's something I'm going to gain. So on that day, I couldn't go to their house, but I told the family that please get your father, the whole family, because today is my father's birthday, and my father and your father, they're good friends, so we can have a nice celebration. So they said, okay, that's a good idea. So then what happened? Early morning around 6 o'clock, that family's daughter, she was telling me that actually my father was standing near the window and he's talking to someone. And I do not know what he's talking. So I told father, get ready, we have to go. We have to go to Prabhuji's house. Today his father's birthday. Let's go. And this person said, you go, I'll come. And he's like talking to somebody in the window. And then after some time, I don't know what happened. He just, got a kind of a stroke or what, I don't know. He just died. And then that day he couldn't come to our house because, he left his body. In other way, we all went to their house. What happened to see? So I asked that lady, that's the father's daughter, actually what happened? She told me, actually I don't know. He was standing near the window and he was talking to someone very loudly. And I went and saw nobody were there. I told him, let's get ready, we have to go. He said, no, you go, I'll come, he said. And then I asked her, have you heard what he was trying to say? I don't know, but I could sense that he was talking to someone, saying that no, don't take me now, don't take me now, give me some more time, give me some more time. That means this is a reality. Don't think that this is a mythology. No, when death knocks the door, any moment we are gone. That's why we should always be very Krishna consciousness. And later she understood that, oh my God, I never expected this. Then I told her, it was no one. There's somebody from either from a spiritual world or from Millis planet, because we have two people who are going to come generally. One is Vishnu Duta, who are very favorable to us. One is Yamaduta, who are not favorable to us. So if you do something bad, the Yamadutas will going to come and take you and go. If you are very good, then Vishnudutas will come. They'll give you a nice red carpet, make you just sit, and take you to the spiritual world. So she was not knowing whether it was Yamaduta or Vishnuduta, but she was only worried because she lost her father. And then I went to their house, then I explained them, this has all happened, but don't worry because he has many times is appreciated Lord Balaji. So that appreciation will slowly, give him a next birth, next life. But then what happened? When he was leaving his body, he was talking loudly. Someone whom we cannot see, she cannot see, but then death came. So death is uncertain. We cannot wait for Christmas. Death can come any moment. That's why I'm telling you, we should not postpone this. We should take seriously. That's why what I only simple request you is just make a simple attempt. Just make a commitment. Okay, Prabhu, I've been attending your classes for last couple of days. So at least I'll make a commitment that I will chant 2 rounds, every day, or maybe 4 rounds, or maybe 1 round, whatever. But I will not drop. I'll keep going. I'll be steady. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Ananya Bhakti. What does it mean? It means devotion without expectation. So if you don't demand from God, give me this, give me that, whatever he gives, that is the mercy. That's why, I keep telling this example more often, See, a child may ask a knife. Mother may not give it. Not because she doesn't love the child. Why? Because she knows that the knife child, she's playing with the knife, it may become dangerous. So similarly, God has given us only what is good for us. So we have to be very grateful for that. Just imagine today you're all attending my class. How many of you can see me? How many of your hands are working? How many of you can walk? All of us have all the organs in a very good condition. But there are people who are in a handicap. They cannot see, they cannot walk. The hands are not working. Some kind of a disease. So you have to be always very grateful to the God. When you have that gratitude, that respect, that is what makes a human. But now we don't do that. Only when we have a problem, we think of Krishna. That is when you are in Sankat, we remember Venkat. That's not a good idea. So what I mean to say here that that we must continue doing bhakti without any complaints or expectations. Because bhakti is not when I'm free. Okay, when I'm free, I will chant. When I'm free, I will go to temple. When I'm free, I will open Bhagavad Gita. No, nowadays people say, when I'm free, I'll chant. When I'm free, I'll come to temple. But that is not a devotion. That's not a devotion. Suppose, let's say you're inviting some VIP. Let's say you're going to invite me to your house. So when I'm inviting me, I'm leaving everything and coming to your house. That means, you will respect me, right? And I will come. Same if, let's say, if you invite some ministers to your house, because he's leaving everything as office work and is coming to you to meet you. So you feel very honored, oh, he's coming to my house. You keep the house very clean because why? You have that respect, that love, that reciprocation you have. Similarly, when we chant Krishna's name, Krishna is a supreme Lord. That's why, when I'm free, I'll come. That is a very bad attitude. We must say, I'll make myself always free for Krishna. That's why I'm telling you, please make your time, take a fixed number, because in a day we have 86,400 seconds in a day, So just take a little bit time, maybe half an hour, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, early morning, once you take bath, go to the temple puja room you have, just chant one round. You see, we try doing for 21 days, you see what is the impact and changes will happen. That's why, Krishna is saying that Nitya Yukta Bhakti, that means somebody is doing daily now, their life becomes very easy because they'll be eligible to attain the spiritual world. So now my question for you, be very genuine and I want you to answer from your heart, not cut, copy, paste, believe in the best. My question is, why should we not delay devotion? Because death can come anytime, So I have requested you that, not the kids, the adults, you can try two things that I gave you that video, Nayan Sundari Mataji, the part 3 from 17 minutes onwards. Just watch that. And also try putting sudden death in YouTube, and you'll really know, oh my God, it's a big thing to know. So that's why you can try knowing this. Then why attaining the Supreme? Wonderful sloka from Gita 8.15. It says, Mam upitiya punarjanma dukhalim ashashvatam napnavanti mahatmana samsiddhim param gatihi. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogas in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. So what happens after attaining Krishna? Krishna says those who reach, they will never return back because this is a temporary world. So you will not come back. That is what it's telling. Dukhalem ashashvatam, a place of suffering, I would say a temporary nature. That's what, we are all having these 4 sufferings. What are that? Birth, death, old age, disease. Birth, so much of pain. Do you know? You can ask mothers or maybe somebody doctor, they'll know. When a child takes birth, the child will be in mother's womb. So much of dark, tight space, no freedom. So much of insects biting. Same thing, old age. We depend on everything. We cannot walk. Full dependence, no energy, cannot eat properly, cannot walk easily. So all these problems gonna come. Because death, old, and disease. Just imagine, just a few years back, we got COVID. Nobody expected this disease. Even the great scientists and doctors, they struggled hard. Oxygen was a big, this one. People who sell oxygen. Now we are getting free of cost. Not able to appreciate Krishna. That's what. And death, not an easy way. Shastra says, when the soul is coming out of the body, you experience 40,000 scorpion bites. Why? Because we are so attached to this body now. When the soul comes out, you feel that much of pain. That's why when Yamaraj comes to take the soul is so attached, it doesn't want to leave. That's why the body becomes so tired, mouth. That's why you see when somebody is dead, what they do? They tie the they tie their foot. Remember when they tie the foot, and then even the mouth, even the eyes, they close it. Why? Because the soul should not again enter into the body. Because they are so attached to the body. This is what happened. Now I want to give you a real time example. This happened in my life. Just how many years back? I think it's 8 years back. 8 years back when I was in Pune as a brahmachari, Navalsan brahmachari. One of my friend, he met with an accident. I want to share this. It's too personal. If you say okay, I'll share this. You can leave in the chat box. It's okay. I'll just take 1 minute what to share because it's going to be a big change. Should I share this? Okay. Okay, fine, thank you. Okay, so some time ago, one of my friend, he met with a very tragic accident and lost his life. And I went to that mortuary. What's mortuary? The place where all the dead bodies, are kept. After they pass away. So this person was like dead because it was an accident, right? The whole body was damaged into pieces. And it was very helpless. To see that kind of situation. Then. The body is so fragile, so somewhat I was being told to go there and just see, what's happening, but when I went there, I became so nervous. It shook me more because I could deeply sense that that soul, the person who died, was trying to enter that body again and again. There was kind of a wind coming all, but the body is to cut into pieces, because the body was in damaged condition, he couldn't enter. And that moment I realized, oh, very important, that I felt a little scared because, see, no matter how you say, but when you're in a situation when nobody is there, too many dead bodies, you will get scared, So I got really scared, but immediately I was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then I just left that place. But after chanting, I felt little peace, I left that place, But then I experienced what I felt that experience. What was that? That that the soul was trying to enter the body, but couldn't enter because the body was cut into pieces. That's why when you see somebody is dead, you look at the screen. It's a dead body here, they put some cotton in the mouth, and they also, when somebody's died, if you see their legs, they have 5 feet, right? The foot, they tie it there like this. But they make sure that all the holes, it's been closed because the soul should not enter into that. It's a very scary topic, but it's very important to know, right? That's why, my dear students, my dear well-wishers, what I'm trying to tell you is that, that with full heart, and I'm telling you, life is uncertain. Death can come at any moment, and we should take up this devotional service very seriously. We don't know when is our last moment, but we have to prepare now by chanting, by hearing, by being in a spiritual atmosphere. That way, we will be ready to face anything. That's the real wisdom. That's the real strength. So let's once chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Now, my question for you is, what happens to those who attain Krishna? Yes, they will never return to this world of suffering. That is for sure. And we all don't want to suffer, right? Of course, Krishna has said, Dukhalama Shashvatam, but we want to suffer. For that, we have to practice doing bhakti. That's why here it says, A Brahma Bona Loka Punaravatuna Arjuna Ma Upati Konte Ya Punarjanmana Vidyate. That means, I will not explain the translation because we are running short of time, That means, this material world is like a jail, and if we are intelligent, what we do, we have to come out of the jail. Not that, make the jail very comfortable. No, we have to see when we'll get released from the jail. It's like, what? You're going to a petrol pump, they're asking to give me 2 liters of juice. Will they give you? They say, boss, this is not a juice shop. This is a petrol shop, right? Same way, this world is not a place for permanent happiness because it is designed in such a way that there's only problem, no joy actually, That's why only those who do bhakti, and when they can reach Krishna, they get the real freedom. That's why I'm telling you, don't be satisfied that, okay, I'll do some good activities, I'll go to heaven. Even if you go to heaven, you have to again come back. Birth, death, old disease, you cannot stop. That's why you see, even in Brahma Loka also you go, even Brahma also has the expiry date. Brahma, even you go to Patal Loka also, you have to take a birth again. That's why from highest planet to the lowest planet, wherever you go, that, you have this pain of death. But very amazingly, Krishna says that, okay, this is only in Vaikuntha. Krishna's abode, which is beyond all these problems. That's why I'm telling you, don't be very happy that, okay, I'll go to heaven. If you go to heaven, you have to again come back. That's why I'm telling you, once, what do you say? I'll give you a kind of a joke, so that, I'm giving a very serious topic, right? I'll just make you a little laugh. So once there was a husband and wife, they were doing bhakti nicely, practicing Krishna consciousness, and both of us left the body. Both of us went to the spiritual world. And then what happened? Very nice, this husband loves to eat sweet a lot, and but he was a sugar patient, when he was in the material world. But they're doing bhakti. Now, once both of them, went to the spiritual world, they were so happy because they got a beautiful house, and they asked, "Should we pay rent for this house?" They said, "No, no, it's free for you. You don't have to pay any rent." "Oh, really?" Then they saw a very nice garden. They asked, "Can we pluck the flower?" "Yeah, it's free. You can pluck." Then they went for one nice sweet shop. Said, "I want to take some sweets. How much to buy? But take how much you want. You don't have to pay. But I don't want sugar. I want sugar free." They said, "No problem. This is spiritual world. You'll not have diabetics. You can just take whatever you want." Now, when they were telling like this in spiritual world, the husband become very angry on wife. What? Husband become very angry. Why? Because husband is telling, why don't you give me, why did you give me so many medicines, and stop me from dying? Because wife used to always give medicines to husband so that, that his sugar levels get balanced because he had a sugar patient. But here in the spiritual world, he's telling, why did you give me so many medicines? And I've gone to the spiritual world very soon before you, so that I would have enjoyed a very good time. So what I mean to say is, that there's not a waste of time, in material world, whatever you do, it's like again do the same thing. But in spiritual world, it's not like that. That's why we should always aim for spiritual plan. That's why I just want to make it very easy. So very easy way to do this is that you have a tulsi at home, just do a tulsi puja. You have a Gita at home, read Gita, and whatever you eat, put tulsi, make it prasadam, have a very simple, clean life, and always remember Krishna and chant Krishna's name. So Krishna is promising, those who remember me at the time of death, they will come to me. There's no doubt about it. So it's almost 12 o'clock. I'll take another 5-10 minutes and then we'll wind up. Okay. So what should be our intelligence? So okay, tell me, what should an intelligent person like you and me do in this material world? Like you and me are intelligent. If you're intelligent, then what you should do in this material world? Make this world comfortable like home. Try to get released from this jail. Aim only for Swargaloka or ignore spiritual and enjoy life. So I have a tie here, B and C, B says try to get released from this jail. Yeah, because it's like a jail. Second is aim for Swarga. If you go to Swargaloka, again you will come back. Understand? Swargaloka is temporary. When you do punya, you go to Swargaloka. But once the quota is done, again you have to take birth. That's not permanent. The permanent is that you get out of this, get out of this jail. That's the best thing. Spiritual world versus material world. So towards your right side, it says, material world. Towards the left side, you see spiritual world. So if you want to know how the spiritual world looks like, how can I go there, what it's all about spiritual world, then you have to be there till chapter 15, because we will discuss more elaborately in a 15th chapter. It's a very interesting chapter. And so as I told you, I might take another 5-10 minutes, because stay connected, because I'll make it a little faster. So in this sloka, Krishna talks about the supreme spiritual world, Vaikuntha. So he says, a place that is not been seen by our eyes, is eternal and never destroyed. Once you reach there, you will never want to come back in this material world. That's what he's speaking. So 15th chapter, make sure you're all connected. Don't say no. So what we learn, it says pure devotion is the best. So in the spiritual world, there's only joy, no death, only, and there's no old age, no disease. Okay. That means you don't take birth again, no cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. And there's no concept of going to heaven, because you're already in the spiritual world, right? Because heaven is Swarga is a temporary thing. Now, in a spiritual thing, that means you're having the permanent result. Okay. So, how to remember at the time of death, especially when you want to, okay, I want to I want to rephrase, See, we have heard so many slokas. Antakale chamam eva yamyam apis paran bhavam. If you want to have the Antanarana Smriti, remember God, only one thing is possible. That is practice, practice, practice. Only by practicing bhakti, it's possible for us to remember Krishna. Otherwise, not possible. And in this sloka, not just by reading Vedas or doing some charity or doing some tapasya, Krishna says in this verse that when we do pure devotion, we automatically get all the benefits of those things. That means you're doing bhakti, you're chanting, you're serving God. It is as good as you're doing all these things like giving donation, doing tapasya, doing yajnas. You don't miss anything because bhakti includes everything. If say I'll give an example, if someone is a devotee, when he or she either by accident or normal death, they die, but they don't go through the process of pain. Why? Because see, when somebody is met an accident, they died, See, when they open their eyes, they will either be in the spiritual world or they'll be in the next human body. But for non-devotees who don't believe in God, they'll be trembling with so much of pain, and Krishna has the best plan for everyone. That's why, so my request for all of you is that take this bhakti very seriously because it is a emergency. So now the question is, according to Krishna, what does this pure bhakti devotion includes in our life? All benefits of yagna, tapasya, and donation. Because you're doing bhakti, everything is coming. Okay. Now Shrimad Bhagavatam says, Kalirdoshani de rajan asti heko mahan gunan Yeetan deva Krishnasya mukta sangha param brajit. So in the age of Kali Yuga, people only find faults, they don't find good things. But even in such kind of faults, if somebody chants Lord's name, they become very glorious. So that's the main part of bhakti. Main part of bhakti is that chanting the Lord's name because that's the foundation. Because without chanting, our devotional service will become incomplete. If I ask you to make a nice food for me, like make a nice upma for me, but if there's no fire, will you be able to make? Nothing. Everything goes to waste. So we need to have a fire to do nice preparation. The chanting makes everything complete. That's what it says. Kalira dosha nidhe rajan. So finally, what message I want to give you? I want to give you my message to all of you. You want to hear? Just say yes or no. I want to give you one message from my side to you. In chat box, you can just say yes or no. If you say yes, I will give you a message. Very important message from my side. Okay. Okay, fine. So I'll tell you a story and you can tell me what exactly you understood. Okay. Imagine this. You are having a bag. You are having a bag. You're told you have only 10 minutes. Collect whatever you can. You're excited now, right? Just run to your room and see pile of potatoes. Now you have a bag in you, okay? So you have just 10 minutes. So run to your room, you may see some potatoes. Start filling them. You quickly start filling the bag. But as you're half the way, you just notice that there are a lot of mobile phones. Now immediately what you do is you dump all the potatoes and you now start, filling your bag with the phones. You have been given 10 minutes. Suddenly you saw there's a laptops. What you do? You put all the phones back and take all the laptops in your bag. And just some time back, you just came to know that somebody told you there are gold coins, gold biscuits in the next room. What do? Without thinking, you just remove all the laptops, phones, potatoes, everything, make the bag empty and start filling all the gold in the bag. Just then, you just hear something even more tempting. What is that? There is diamond there. What will you do now? You will start dropping all the gold biscuits and start trying to fill the bag with the diamond. You get an announcement. Time up. That means you've been given time, 10 minutes. Now we are just trying to take the diamond, but now it's time up. That means your bag is empty now. Your bag is empty. And you're left with nothing. So the lesson is the bag is like our mind. The bag is like our mind. And this 10 minutes that I gave you, it's like your life. And when we're trying to constantly switching potatoes, phones, laptops, gold, then going for diamond, it represents how we keep running for temporary things, name, money, fame, relation, career, but we forget the one thing, that which is what we're looking for. That is the diamond. And the real diamond is the Lord's holy name. So before we realize the value of this, the life is over. That means time is up. So the bag is empty. What is there? That's why I'm requesting you that they say अर्थ कमाने के लिए काम चाहिए और परमात्मा को कमाने के लिए नाम चाहिए. If you have the name of the Lord, then you can actually embrace the Lord. So let's not waste this precious life. Let us all fill our bag with the holy name, because the holy name is the real diamond. Just Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So my last question for today is, what is the main part of bhakti? Oh, that's a nice question. Chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Yes, that is the right answer. I'll stop sharing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate for your time given today. And I know I extended today. So I'll do a quick review on chapter 8, what we said. So we saw how, why Arjuna is asking about the death and devotion at the time of death, Arjuna is asking Krishna, and then he asked about 3 things, who is the Lord of sacrifice, how does we live in the body, then how can we become a devotee and remember Krishna at the time of death. Then what I want to do now is I'm going to do a quick reflection. Life is a preparation, death is a final test. First point. What we practice, remember daily, we can remember at the time of a death. Second thing. Then third thing is, I would say that if we train our mind now through chanting, devotion, and steady sadhana, then the verse becomes clear. Anta kalachamam eva smaran mukva kalevram. One who remembers me at the time of death, you can come to me. There is no doubt about it. So the takeaway message for all of us is that take up bhakti seriously and make sure that we don't come back to this material world once again. So what I request you is, you can chant this Maha Mantra every day, at least 1 or 2 rounds. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. It not only gives you liberation, but it gives you Krishna. That's enough. That's all I want to say. And finally, tomorrow, don't miss it, because tomorrow is chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Why am I so excited? Because out of 700 verses, only few are considered the heart of Gita, and chapter 9 is one of them. So please, make sure that you come hear Krishna's most personal message, because not just knowledge, this is transformational wisdom. Okay, so tomorrow we will dive into chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. This is where Lord Krishna opens the heart and shares the most personal, powerful, and joyful wisdom meant only for sincere people like you. So if you attain just one chapter with full attention, let it be this one chapter. Okay? So tomorrow's chapter is called the King of Knowledge, the King of Secrets. And Krishna says it's the most joyful wisdom. Be there to receive it. Okay? Thank you so much.